Lucy today to Mark. Mark, just a simple question. What motivated you to move away from your national coaching role?
Sorry, what's that?
What motivated you to move away from your coaching role?
I don't think it was a motivation. It was just a situation I was put into, and I saw opportunity for my future, for my family going forward, and yeah, I took that opportunity.
Thanks, Nathan. Zahir?
Mark, just looking forward to the Indian series. Just what how crucial is this in terms of building up to the World Cup, and obviously this would you expect to get Mumbai Indians questions coming your way at every press conference in India?
Okay, first of all, Mumbai Indians questions. I'm under contractual obligations by CSA and Mumbai Indians that I don't want to and I don't have to answer any questions. Okay, but this press conference is about the Proteas and heading off to India. First of all, is going to be a massive tour for us. Yes, it's basically the tour before the big event, which is the World Cup. So yeah, it's going to be a massive tour for us. And hopefully we get to see a couple of options and give opportunities to players who we feel are going to play a massive role for us in the World Cup as well. So yeah, it's competitive cricket, which I think is good. I think we're going to be game fit going into a World Cup, especially playing against India, albeit in India conditions. But I think we've got a squad and a good leadership group with the knowledge that we're going to have to play a different brand of cricket going to Australia. So we're going to have to mix that a little bit and make sure that we are ready for a very important World Cup for us.
Thanks, Zahir. So Cecil, then Johan.
Hi, Mark. Thanks, Lucy. Mark, how difficult or easy was it to make the decision to leave a team that you've invested your time in for the last 3 years, considering the off-field battles as well, and considering that you would have taken this team to the World Cup next year? How difficult or how hard was it? And what is your thought process regarding this coming T20 World Cup in terms of keeping the players motivated, knowing full well that you're not going to be part of this journey any longer?
Okay. Firstly, as I said, I'm under contractual obligations with CSA and with Mumbai Indians. So I'm not going to comment on that. It's going to be very easy for me to keep the focus of the players. I'm 100% committed to the players and to the Proteas going into a World Cup. It's a massive World Cup for us, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I know the players are looking forward to it as well. If you have a look at our squad, I think it's a very strong squad as well. And there's a massive opportunity for us that, potentially if we play good cricket, I believe that we got the players to, you can't guarantee a World Cup win or anything like that, but I think we got the players to really push for a great outcome in the World Cups. And I remain 100% committed to this team. My decisions from a personal perspective, it's not going to hamper these guys at all. I've always said that I'm in this job for the players and the players alone, and I will continue to give them everything that I have in order to try to get the best outcome for them in a World Cup.
Thanks, Johan.
Morning, Mark. Just want to double check the guys who went to Caribbean Premier League. Are they joining later or they're already with you guys?
The whole squad that's going to the World Cup and India is with us at the moment. So they're all together. We're on almost like a 2-day camp. I wouldn't call it a camp because there's not much going on. It's just everyone getting back together. I mean, there were quite a few guys that were at different parts of the world. Guys were at Caribbean League and all that type of stuff in South Africa. And we just brought everyone together at the moment just to really just kind of reconnect before we go out. So yeah, we've got a nice little function that the guys are going to be involved in tonight. It's all about the team as a unit and just bonding together before we head out on Friday.
Thanks, Johan.
Cape Town.
Cape Town-ish, if you want to call it that. We're out in the Paarl Valleys.
Thanks, Johan. Amir, then we'll go Ken, then Leighton.
Good morning, Mark, and thank you for the opportunity. Mark, as don't know if I can put, as a national sport, we always seem to be the subject of a major talking point unknowingly most of the time, right before a big tournament. This time around it's regarding our T20 captain Temba, who went unsold at the SA auction. And there's been a lot of fallout or discussion, debate if you want to call it that, about that. Could you give us your thoughts on that and whether it could affect the energy within the group, if at all, going into such an important period of cricket for us over the next couple of months?
Okay, cool. First of all, I'm not involved in that. Unfortunately, I wasn't involved in that whole auction or not involved in the coaching of any one of those teams. But one thing I can say is that leagues, they come and go, and I'm in full understanding and respect of this new league that's come about in South African cricket. I think it's needed and all that type of stuff. But let's separate the national team from the league. Temba Bavuma is our leader, okay? And I back him 100%. Yes, there's a lot of talk in social media and all that type of stuff about this and that. I don't really care, to be honest with you. He's our leader, and we back him in this team like you can't believe. The guys were there last night. We were having a couple of drinks, and I could just see the energy around him because I understand the situation that he's going through. Bottom line is, we are on a journey, and we've been on a journey for the last 2 years. He's been a massive part of our journey, and we back him like you can't believe. What happens in leagues and auctions and stuff, you can't control that. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But from a Protea perspective, we do back him 100%, and going into a massive tournament like a World Cup, he will be a massive part of our team going forward. And as a coach, I'll back him 100%. Simple as that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Amir. Ken, later.
Thanks, Lucy. How's it, Mark? Mark, you touched briefly on conditions in India compared to what you're going to get in Australia. Is it as simple, though, as saying that a flat pitch is a flat pitch wherever it is in the world? Or if you get good batting conditions in India, are there still different things you have to do if you get the same sort of batting-friendly conditions in Australia?
Yeah, look, I think we got to be mindful of the conditions that we're going to be playing in. I think it's more about not giving too many cards out, especially in India because they're in our pool as well. So we're going to have to meet up with them at some stage. There's quite a few games that we're playing against them. The venues that we're going to, we're not quite sure what we're going to get. I think at the back of our minds is always going to be that there's a World Cup ahead of us. So we've got to look at combinations and giving guys opportunities to keep them in touch with form and all that type of stuff. So I think it's a balancing act to give opportunities, see different combinations, try to get a bit of confidence going into the World Cup as well, but also understanding that the conditions are probably going to be completely different to what we experience in India as well. So I'm going to rely on our coaching staff to give us some good advice, on our strength and conditioning coach as well to give us some good advice on resting players, all that type of stuff. So don't expect our full front team to come out. We'll probably give opportunities to guys in the next 2-3 weeks that we feel is all in order to build up for World Cup, which I think is a smart way to handle our whole squad.
Thanks, Ken. Later.
Hello, Lucy. Thank you. Hi, Mark. Mark, just on that building confidence, the team has been on a leafy patch with regards to limited overs cricket for the last couple of tours. How do you balance going to India, possibly losing there and trying to get up there, or winning in India and going to the World Cup on a high? How do you balance those expectations within the team and also within the supporters around the team?
Okay, first of all, I don't understand what your leafy patch is about. If you have a look at our stats, especially in T20 cricket, we're the most successful T20 side over the last 25-30 games. Okay, one-day cricket, we've had a bit of a mixed bag because we've lost players at crucial times in series to IPL and all that type of stuff, which is uncontrollable. So we haven't always been able to have our best players playing in certain competitions and series and games that we've actually needed. That's why we are in the situation where we are at the moment. regarding qualification. Okay, but in saying that, this white ball team has got a lot of special players, and I've got full confidence that when we go to India, we've got a lot of ammo in our squad to really go out there and put them on the table and say, listen, you guys go out and play, and that they will be world beaters. But it's just the balance of trying to work out how do we get everyone involved and get them ready for a big event, which is a World Cup. So as I said before, I know everyone wants to see our full World Cup team playing, but we've got 3 T20 games and 3 one-day games available to us where we need to give guys opportunities to get them in form, keep them ready and fit. The main focus will be on the World Cup with regards to our selection and to the way and style that we're going to play.
Thanks. We are heading into the last 5 minutes with Mark, so I'm going to take the questions from the guys who haven't had the opportunity yet, and then if time allows to take 1 or 2 follow-ups. So we'll go Heinz in Sipiwe.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. Obviously, just like you mentioned, there's a huge opportunity for other guys to stake a claim now in this series. But I just wanted to hear just how big a loss is Rassie van der Dussen. I mean, this is a guy that's averaged in excess of 60 in ODI, so he still does leave a huge hole.
Yeah, he does, and it's very unfortunate from Rassie. I mean, he's been a guy that we've invested in all formats for quite some time now. So to lose Rassie is a massive blow to the squad. Fortunately for us, and I said this at the end of the England series as well, there are guys that have been pushing for selection, and we've got a couple of guys back into our system as well, which has strengthened the whole unit, and the competition is massive in our squad. So that's been the plus. But yes, you're right. Losing Rassie, just his whole aura around the team environment, and that is a massive blow for us. But you know what? Things like this happen. Injuries in sport happen, and unfortunately for Rassie, I mean, hopefully, I know for a fact Rassie will be on the phone and trying to give his input and be a team man that he is. He'll be there with us throughout the whole way. But yeah, unfortunately, he's not available. So we just got to. It is what it is. We've got to move on, and we've got to try to replace him as best as we can. And that's what we've done with our selection as well.
Thanks. Sipiwe?
Hi, thanks, Lucy. Mark Boucher, hi. Spiwe Ngema here. I want to check here as when South Africa playing limited overs have won more matches than India. So does this mean do you have an advantage to India?
There's no advantage to India. I think that we're going into their conditions. So straight away, India are a very good one-day team. I'm not too sure what team they're going to put up. I know that they've got plans to take their T20 side to the World Cup. So we might play an under-strength Indian team in the one-days. But any team that India put up in India is going to be a strong unit. I mean, they've got a lot of depth. We know that. So we're going to have to be on top of our game. But as I said before, I think the one-day series that we're going to be playing, obviously we want results and we want to win. But everything with regards to that Indian tour will be bearing in mind that we have got a World Cup ahead of us. So if it's resting players or giving opportunities to players, I see the squad that we're going with, maybe 19, 20 players. I don't see like a T20 squad or one-day squad. I look at opportunities through our 20 individuals that we just need to manage and get them in the best space for a World Cup.
Thanks. The last 3 questions from Amir. So here, then we're going to wrap with Morgan.
Thank you. With the World Cup essentially on the other side of this limited overs tour in India, would that give you a fair idea of who your starting 11 would be? I know you mentioned giving guys opportunity to play, finding form, looking at combinations. Would the series give you a fair idea of who starts in that first game, or do you more or less have an idea who that might be?
I've got an idea. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to look at the makeup of our squad, and you guys could probably work out who potentially our starting 9 or 10 players would be. I think there's always a bit of form that you've got to look into and look at 1 or 2 players and go like, okay, well, maybe they're not in form or they're in form, and give the spot to them. But I think basically, our starting 11 in a World Cup, we've probably got 9 spots or 10 spots that we know what our strongest 11 or 10 will be, given looking at conditions and all that type of stuff. That's the nice thing about the squad. This squad has been together for a long time. There's continuity. A lot of these guys have been to a World Cup before. We've got some exciting new talent that don't carry the scars of the past, all that type of stuff. And they're exciting prospects for us going into a new World Cup. But yeah, we believe that going to Australia, there's different conditions that you're going to play in. And we can look at the conditions and choose a squad or choose a team or 11 that can compete in any conditions in Australia. And I think that's quite exciting itself.
Thanks, Amir. So here, then Morgan for the last one.
Mark, we do know over the years the influence of the former president Nelson Mandela on sports teams in South Africa. You guys visited Robben Island yesterday. Just in terms of what was that like for the boys and yourself, and what do you take from that? Just heading into a next couple of big months.
I've been there twice already, so this is my 3rd time that I've been there, and we actually had a hell of a guide who has been there for a long time, and the insight that we had was incredible. I walked around, and as a coach, you look at the guys and you just watch them and see the experience that they went through yesterday. It's all a part of our journey, a part of our team culture that we've created, and it was eye-opening for a lot of the guys. So I've got no doubt that little trip that we did yesterday, albeit sometimes quite a simple thing to do, is going to be far-reaching, going into the depths of building a culture, and especially when we're under pressure, because every team's going to be under pressure at the World Cup. I think that could have a massive input into our results. That was special.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Morgan, to wrap us up.
Thanks, Lucy. Morning, Mark. You mentioned exciting prospects now just a couple of questions ago. What are your thoughts on the rise of Tristan Stubbs over the last 11 months? He was a total unknown about a year ago, and now he's the talk of the town.
I think what you said there is great. He's a total unknown. So a lot of teams probably don't know what he's all about, which makes him dangerous. We know in South Africa the things that he's done here, albeit at domestic level, and he's had a little bit of a go in international crickets. We didn't rush him into any selections. In India, he was there. We sort of tried to groom him into a spot, but then he got to England on the biggest stage against a very good England team, and he showed us what he can actually do. So he's an exciting prospect, but he's a prospect that not many teams know about, which is exciting. I think that's why, if he gets an opportunity to play, great. We've got other guys who we can pick as well. But if he gets the opportunity to play, I think he's going to make a massive impact on this tournament, and also in India.